Something feels different in WWE right now. It's not broken, it's not bad, just different. Because the WrestleMania season has always been chaotic. The time of year where every episode feels dangerous, unpredictable, like something huge could happen at any moment, and makes you stay glued to the TV to make sure watch what happens next. But this year, there's a growing conversation amongst fans, reviewers, and I guess analysts on the internet. And that is that the energy feels slower when it comes to building up to WrestleMania. It feels less urgent. And what makes this conversation interesting is that it isn't coming from just one place. It's coming from everywhere. From fan discussions like right now, to reviews, to comments made by the wrestlers themselves. If you don't know what I'm talking about, AJ Styles said he preferred to retire at the Royal Rumble than WrestleMania because WrestleMania hasn't felt, and don't quote me on this, he said to the words that it doesn't feel like a relevant show anymore, or it doesn't feel special or something like that. So he preferred to retire at Royal Rumble, which honestly was a better choice for him because he started 10 years ago at the Royal Rumble as his career as a main eventer in WWE. So what better way to end it at the show that he started? So it was probably the best decision he made because this buildup is garbage so far. So the real question isn't whether WWE is good or bad. The real question is, has the creative momentum changed? WWE is going to wish that they never did Unreal because now that people are seeing stuff, now people are questioning how they decide stuff. Anyway, according to reports from wrestling coverage outlets, moments involving veterans, talents have helped spark reflection about WWE's current creative direction. They compared eras. They remember times when WrestleMania season felt louder, faster, more unpredictable. And that's what happens when long-time performers become symbols of change. The audience begins looking at the entire product differently. Suddenly, every segment feels like a part of a bigger conversation. Now, is WWE evolving, or is this something missing when it comes to their product? According to recent Raw reviewers, the show has been described for Monday Night Raw this past week, February 23rd, as a bad show. It was inconsistent, and it hasn't been explosive. It had some story-driven, some minor consistency, but not always explosive for what you would expect for a road to WrestleMania. And that distinction obviously matters because fans aren't saying the shows are bad. They're just saying they feel too safe. Storylines are progressing, characters are moving forward, but fewer moments feel shocking or unpredictable. Not predictable enough to make me want to spend over thousands of dollars to take my butt to Vegas and watch it live for WrestleMania. If they feel like taking a safe route, I'll feel safe just watching it from home. Fair enough? And if you don't think this makes sense, let's look back at some WrestleMania buildups. Let's go back to Daniel Bryan's Yes movement of 2014. You know which one, the one when he hijacks Raw. Yes chant. There was a time when the road to WrestleMania felt uncontrollable, when crowd forced storylines to change in real time. Every week felt like anything could happen. Returns felt important, and storyline felt important, but not now. That's the comparison many fans are making now. Not quality versus quality, but intensity versus control. Now, another growing conversation revolves around character clarity. Now, some recent promos on Raw and SmackDown even have produced mixed reaction from crowds to even not crowd reacting at all. Cheers are being blended with boos, making it less clear who fans are meant to emotionally invest in. A prime example is when Liv Morgan was deciding who she would wrestle for a title at WrestleMania between Stephanie McMahon or Jade Cargill. Every time they directed themselves towards Stephanie McMahon, they were just booing. In wrestling, crowd reactions are part of storytelling, and sometimes they help tell what they should do next. When the audience aren't sure how to feel, emotional engagement starts to shift into analysis. Some characters have shifted tone from week to week, aggressive one moment, sympathetic the next, creating discussion about whether WWE is intentionally blurring lines or still defining identities that they don't yet understand. Now, let's go with other examples of prime character developments and direction that help future storytelling, even to the point when it leads to WrestleMania. Now, these next examples, some of them are not directly part of the road to WrestleMania, but eventually helps build storylines for WrestleMania. The biggest, most obvious ones is these few right now. Now, let's think about WWE's strongest character runs that I can think of. CM Punk in 2011, the pipe bomb that developed him into one of the most famous or beloved anti-heroes, heroes to some, heels to others, disruptors as others. We can also talk about Becky Lynch's move that became when she became the man, when her nose broke by Nia Jax around the time of Survivor Series the previous year and before WrestleMania 35, my apologies. And she became one of the top people ever. They were trying to push her as a heel, but they loved her more as a face. And this was proof of it. Another obvious one in recent years, obviously, Roman Reigns embracing the tribal chief role. Now, that's mostly a heel status, but his character and the previous characters, all these characters felt clear. The audience knew exactly how to react to these people, and they knew exactly what they were pushing for storyline-wise. Right now, some fans feel fewer characters have had the same clarity. A big example of that is what we were talking about during the Raw review, which is the development of the Natty character and the Maxine character evolution. We obviously understand what they're trying to go with, but it seems like WWE doesn't know what the hell they're trying to do or how to present it. So while we have an idea, it doesn't seem like they do, and it shows. For the past couple weeks, we were hyped with all the promo packages of Natty as the underground badass, that once she showed up on TV, they didn't know what to do with her. And it's become lackluster. The best opportunity they had to revitalize this is put her in the chamber, and they did it. They still got time. Natty should just injure someone and then take the chamber spot. But anyway, now let's talk about some main character moments and some other important moments. Laura, how's it going, Laura? Now, this is where things get interesting. Because this isn't about WWE being good or bad, it's about how we're watching wrestling differently now. 10 years ago, characters or wrestlers told us exactly how to feel. Today, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. Now, I enjoy that, but sometimes when I figure it out and they change it, doesn't help. And when characters' identities feel uncertain, momentum becomes the next conversation. Now, let's talk about some mid-card stuff. Fans' discussion have increasingly focused on whether newer talent and are gaining momentum quickly enough heading into WrestleMania season. Example of these two women right here. When fans feel a rising star losing steam, debate starts instantly. Julia is a big example of that. Because wrestling audiences always want to witness the moment someone breaks through. They've done a disservice with Julia. They've done okay with Roxanne, but she's borderline as well. They definitely need to do something with her, but we will see. Here are some examples when momentum matters. When momentum works, you can feel it. Crowds get louder every week. Storylines feel like they're climbing towards something when that feeling shows. Fans begin questioning the creative philosophy itself. A great example of that is the Kofi Kingston 2019 run towards WrestleMania. Fans were backing him up through and through. Another example is Seth Rollins' 2014 rise once he left the Shield and he went on his great heel run and rise. Two different ways. One was a face, one was a heel. Both styles can work if done correctly. Momentum is important for wrestlers, and if creative knows when to hit that momentum and go full charge, it will be great. A perfect example is how they're dealing with Chelsea Green. We'll talk about that in another video. They're messing up that momentum. But anyway. Now, obviously, for WWE, it's always going to be about numbers. But just because they're focusing on the numbers, that doesn't mean it will match the narrative. And here's where things obviously going to become complicated. Because viewerships remain strong, recent data shows Raw continues to draw millions of viewers globally through Netflix. So clearly fans are still invested, people are still watching, but watching doesn't always mean satisfaction. The modern audiences engage through analysis and debate, and social media amplifies every reaction. And online, when it comes to WWE, the conversation is split. Some fans believe the WrestleMania build lacks urgency. Others, for some reason, argue WWE is intentionally telling slower stories for bigger payoffs. And both sides have some valid points, even though I don't agree with the other one. Because wrestling today exists in an algorithm-driven social media world. Every week is expected to go viral, or they're pushing for it to go viral. Every segment is judged instantly, both on TV while watching, online when people react to it, and obviously when you watch it on the clips on X, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. Long-term storytelling becomes harder when audiences expect constant fireworks and payoffs. Now let me drop the real tea here. Because this is where the people get divided, maybe WWE isn't losing momentum. Maybe WWE is trying to slow things down to make moments feel bigger when they finally happen. Maybe. The real clash might be between storytelling pace and audience expectation. The virality mindset that some WWE fans today have. And we talked about that in a previous video thanks to Alan Owens. Fans nowadays want instant payoff. Storytelling, though, when it comes to wrestling, demands patience. And right now, those two ideas are colliding, and we don't know, or at least WWE doesn't know at this point, how to make both work in unison. And we are in that era, and we talked about in a previous video, WWE is in an era that they have to figure both of those out in order to make it succeed. Because if they don't, and someone else figures it out first, like AEW or TNA, I'm not saying they figured it out, but if they do, WWE is cooked. So maybe WWE creative hasn't lost momentum at all. Maybe expectations have changed. Maybe fans have changed. Or maybe we're all just waiting for that one moment that makes everything click again. And the real question is WWE telling stories differently? Or does WrestleMania season simply feel different than it used to? And honestly, that answer depends on who you ask. So let me know in the comments, is the WrestleMania build going the way you expected? What are things you hope they've done differently or hope to see in the next couple of weeks once Elimination Chamber is done? Let me know your comments in the chat, and I will see you on the next video.